Story number 5. How long will those affected by flaws in the system stay quiet? Now, this is a story that is interesting because you're starting to see a shift and what people feel is right in democracy or representative democracy as the United States. So there's been people who have been affected by medical bills, the school system, college debt, and they're starting to get a voice in the fight because everybody's starting to cry foul. They're starting to say that something's wrong. There was a dialysis firm that canceled $524,000. I'm sorry, $524,600.17 of medical bills after a journalist investigation. So people have been affected by the medical industry. They've been affected by student loans, and they're starting to put a voice in the fight. South Dakota Public School adds "God in God We Trust" sign to the wall. So even when it comes to believing in God, you're starting to see people who have been staying silent about these feelings that they have about how the system should be structured, and people are saying that needs to be changed, like taking these things out. You're starting to see people who don't usually talk about these issues come up and speak about what they feel when they're talking about addressing the system and how the system is structured. Senate approves bill to prevent 9/11 victims funds from running out of money. This is interesting too, because the Senate, I think it was, I talked last week about how even some talk show hosts, some people who have been going to bat for 9/11 victims, and we're starting to see them them speak out about, and a lot of these victims were very quiet and haven't been saying anything about how they have been affected and what the government should do to help them out. Very, very interesting topic. School district that warned parents of foster care they were, I guess they were warned about parents of foster care unpaid lunches. So even in the school system, and I guess there was somebody wanted to pay, but the offer was rejected. So even when it comes to people paying lunches, people are starting to get very, very serious about the American dollar and how it's spent. So this story about how long will those or who have been affected with flaws in the system, this is will they stay quiet? There's a lot of new voices in the fight when you talk about food stamps and government assistance and social aid programs. This is becoming a big discussion. Coal miners to demand Congress restore full black lung benefit tax. So even when you talk about the coals, these stories are staying alive and they're staying in the media, staying in the news, because of the fact that people who have been quiet for a long time are starting to speak up, because they're starting to see that some things are just not fair in this representative democracy that we live in. There's an old story, I guess, and I guess I need to practice what I preach about. Closed mouths don't get fed. So people are starting to speak up because of the fact that it's starting to affect them. So that's story number 5. That's why it bumped up all the way up to number 5, because even when you talk about racial talk, people who have been victims of lead poisoning, all this stuff, and they've been left behind for so long. I think we remember the movie Boys in the Hood, how people who were raised in the street environment said this movie gave them a voice. Even when you talk about hip hop music and how some types of people who feel left behind, how they find a way to wave their hand and say, hey, we need help, can you help us? So story number 5 seems to be gaining some steam, because even police are starting to scream, we need some relief. Can we all come together on these issues? You're in the media with me, Brian West, where it is my duty every week to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories. You can go to the website to see the stories that almost made it in, or you can see the stories that did make it in. You may want to do your own research or help out your own cause. You can also leave comments in the section below if you have something that you want to add to the topic, or something that you need to add to the stories that made it in. You feel free to, your comments will either get approved or reviewed, and we'll see what happens. Try to be a little bit like I said, lenient on what you say. Try to be sensitive to other people's opinions, and take it easy on me. I'm not all there, as most people would say. They're not all there. I'm still trying to battle with keeping my stand in the middle and hearing both sides. So if you want to contribute anyway, help me out. METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, or just read something, or just sponsor a program.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.